Hi there guys and girls, and welcome to my next review. This is a first for channel TotalMK. I've never reviewed a Mortal Kombat comic book, but I thought today that I would. For my anniversary videos, I thought I'd do some new stuff. I'm not announcing, you know, that I'll be doing comic book reviews all the time, but I thought I'd at least try my hand at one. And you know, I'm not a big comic book guy, to be honest. I'm not. I bought heaps of the Injustice comics. I bought all the Mortal Kombat X comic books. And I read I read a little bit of the Injustice ones, and I read a lot of the Mortal Kombat X ones early on, digitally and stuff. But I need to really sit down one day and read them properly, because I don't know, I do everything else but sit and read comics. But I thought it'd be cool to take a look at the original Mortal Kombat comic book. Now, this was the mail away offer. I'm sorry if the light's funny. This was the mail away offer that came up on the arcade machine. Send $3 to whatever address, you know, and you'll get the Mortal Kombat Collector's Edition comic book for $3. That's this one. Now, I have a story that goes with this comic book. I believe I bought one on eBay. So I had one somewhere. I think, because I honestly, I can't remember. And I've kind of just grabbed this one out of the top of the box, which I'll get to in a minute. No, I do, because I had the first and the second one. Yes. Yeah, so I already owned one of these comic books, right? But one day, I was in a comic book store in Melbourne, and this is years ago. This is probably, when was it? I'm going to say maybe around 2000 to 2004, maybe around that period, somewhere in those 4 years, I reckon. 2003 maybe. And I had this habit of every time I walked into a comic book, just going and looking for Mortal Kombat and nothing else, while all these other nerds came in looking at their Superman and Green Lantern bullshit. I only cared about Mortal Kombat. And here in Australia, no one gave a flying fuck about Mortal Kombat. You know, I never had problems finding books or finding an abundance of Mortal Kombat comics. You know, I'd always find them. You know, people here really didn't seem to care. Remember, in America, Mortal Kombat had a huge following, and it seems like it was harder to get books in America than somewhere like here. And a lot of these comic book stores here would have, you know, random issues that they probably bought online or from people or dealers from overseas and bought them here. So I'd always just go look and see what they had, because, you know, I was actually missing one Mortal Kombat comic book for a long time, which was Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition 2, but I actually have that one now. And so I'd always look at the comics that they had. I'd go and see what they had. And so I'm in the city, and where was I? What comic book store was it? There's a few in the city. There's Classic Comics. I think it was Classic Comics. I can't 100% remember. But it was a city store. I go in there. It might have even just been Comics R Us, actually. Whatever, whichever one it was. I go in the city. I ask for Mortal Kombat comics. They lead me to the Mortal Kombat comics section, right? I pull open the drawer, and I see this guy. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look, and there's like 3 there. 3 of them. And I'm like, it can't be. It can't be. Because I remember I already had Mortal Kombat 1 Blood and Thunder. I knew what the original Mortal Kombat comic book looked like. And this was not the cover. This was the promo art that goes with the arcade that John Tobias drew. And I'm looking, I'm going, it can't be that book. It was a mail away offer. Why the fuck would it be in a comic book store in Australia? This makes no goddamn sense. You know? And then I look at the top, and it's clearly got Midway up here in the middle. And I'm like, fuck it. I just grabbed them all, and I bought all of them. And they cost me $6, which was double the $3 US price. They cost me 6 each, so $18 I paid for 3 books. Original Mortal Kombat 1 mail away offers, and I have no idea how they ended up here, but that's one of those things that I call as fate, that this ends up in my hands. One of the ultimate Mortal Kombat collectors. You know, I'm not one of the biggest collectors, but I love Mortal Kombat and I buy a lot of Mortal Kombat stuff, and this ends up in my hands. Like, what are the odds? What are the fucking odds that someone had these books, and not one? We're not talking one, we're talking 3 of them, you know, and that they ended up in Melbourne, Australia. That's just one of those things. So anyway, I have one of the books here. I'm not sure where my other one is, my open one is. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this one and read it. I think even though I have the other one, I don't think it is open. Sorry, I'm going on... Oh, man. I bought all this stuff on eBay so long ago. Before I even found these 3, I bought the original one, so I think I just left it sealed anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this one, right? And go take a look at it. So it's the first time breaking the tape. Oh, that was easy. Now we'll fold that away. Taking the book out. Ooh, the back is in very good condition. Very nice. Now, I did look for some pictures on the net, so I'm going to put them on the screen. I did find some people had scanned them in, but unfortunately they're not the highest quality, so the text may be a bit hard to read, but you can make it out, but it can be a bit tricky. Alright, so let's start. Mortal Kombat comic book. We open, and we see the Mortal Kombat, the comic book. John Tobias, writer and penciler. Andy Kadelka is the inker. Digital Chameleon colorists, and Dan Nakrosis is the letterer. There's also a credit here for Ed Boon and Roger Sharp as editors. Thanks to Tim Coman, Carlos Pezina, and John Vogel. Now, as you know, John Vogel and Carlos Pezina still work on the Mortal Kombat games. And Tim Coman, funny little tidbit about Tim Coman is he's the guy in the pit next to the 3 heads that's bent over. That's Tim Coman. That's all I know about Tim Coman, because Ed let us in on that info when he talked about all the dead bodies in the pit a few years ago. So it starts with Shang Tsung looking awesome, and we have some narration here. The Shaolin Tournament for Martial Arts was for ages a competition of honor and glory. Warriors from around the world were invited to take part. Shang Tsung was one of those warriors. Upon entering the tournament, he immediately won the title of Grand Champion. But, unknown to the Shaolin, who were hosts of the contest, each of Tsung's victories added to a hidden, dark, and destructive power. So just to reiterate, this comic is the original story of the Mortal Kombat 1 arcade. This comic book told the story of the very first Mortal Kombat game. And this was something that, you know, they didn't do. This is something that they did not do back in those times. Shang Tsung was cursed by his gods, and to appease them, must not only take the life of an opponent, but he must also take the soul. Through his unholy ceremony, Shang Tsung is able to keep his youth. Until the arrival of Kung Lao, a noble and mighty Shaolin monk, his strength and speed proved too much for the overconfident Shang Tsung. Lao wins the fight and the Grand Champion title that Tsung held so desperately. So he's actually beaten originally when Shang Tsung was young. Years later, after the mysterious death of one of the 3 tournament Grand Masters, Shang Tsung would return, prematurely aged and weakened from the effects of failing to appease his gods, Sung invites an Outworlder and former pupil to compete. Ooh, this is where things get nasty. His name is Goro. His speed was I'm sorry, I'm not the best at reading. I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes I read a word and my brain thinks of a word that's similar, and sometimes I have to read things twice. I'm just getting it out there, okay? I'm not the greatest guy at reading, so me doing this video has got me kind of nervous. So let's start again. His name is Goro. His speed was incredible. His strength unmatched. And although Kung Lao battled long and hard, Goro would prove the best of the two. For this ancient tournament, the victory marks the end of an era. And that has Goro here defeating someone. And the start of a treacherous new beginning. One that will alienate the Shaolin from their own tournament and guarantee Shang Tsung the immortality he so greatly desires. 500 years later, the Hoenn province, present-day China. Through his entire life, Liu Kang has heard stories and rumours about Shang Tsung's martial arts tournament. He is well aware of the evil behind the contest and must now decide whether to accept the invitation he recently received. I understand you have requested permission to compete in Shang Tsung's tournament. Liu Kang says, yes, Master Wu. I have been asked to attend. You must not overlook the true motive of Shang Tsung's invitation. In his eyes, your defeat at his hands of Goro would most certainly put an end to the threat of the Shaolin ever retaking the contest, as would any warrior with a 500-year stretch of victories. Liu Kang says, but Goro has grown overconfident. Your mind and spirit must work as one to walk with the wind. These attributes will enable you to put an end to Shang Tsung's treachery. I grant you permission, Liu Kang. The Shaolin depend on your victory. And then Liu Kang says, I will not fail. Hang on, wait a minute. Isn't that what Goro said in the movie?
I do not fail.
Let's get out of here.
So yeah, that is my promise. 2 weeks later, Hong Kong. Johnny Cage, martial arts movie star and soon-to-be competitor in Shang Tsung's tournament, is ready to board one of Shang Tsung's sail barges. For the past few weeks, the competition is all he could think about. It has also been on the minds of his agent and personal secretary. So Johnny says, will you relax, Chuck? Chuck's his agent, obviously. Chuck says, look, Johnny, all I'm saying is maybe you should reconsider this tournament thing. Look at that boat. You can't get on that hunk of junk. You're a commodity. You're looking at 20 mil this year. You want to risk that? And then his secretary says, Johnny, you've got to be back by the 15th. You're scheduled to start shooting Iron Claw on the 17th, and you haven't even read the script. And then Chuck says, come on, Johnny, these people could be crazy. This tournament isn't sanctioned by any martial arts organization. And I can't find one person who's ever heard of the friggin' thing. Please, just reconsider. And then Johnny says, I'll be back in 2 weeks, I promise. These are quality people, Chuck. Trust me. Yeah, just don't get hit in the face. Hey, who would hit Johnny Cage? Everybody loves me. So as you can see, this reminds me a lot of the Mortal Kombat movie. They're going around the world introducing all the characters. So next we have, and just a few miles away in Hong Kong, a car chase and shootout going on. Alright, Kano, the bay is up ahead. Good, because these chumps are getting to me. You better watch your back at that tournament. I hear stories about this Wang Feng dude. That's Shang Tsung, and I'm gonna rip his heart out and eat it for breakfast. Yeah, slice and dice, Kano, slice and dice! And after I win this tournament, I want the entire Black Dragon gang there. I mean all of them. From Shanghai to Chicago. I hear there's a place on that island. Walls made of gold. We'll be looting for months. Later, hoodlums. I got a date with a bulletproof Winnebago. Good luck, Kano. You're gonna need it. Howdy, chumps. He's on the roof. Heads up, Sonia. We got a live one at 12. Too bad this thing's bulletproof. Yeah, I'd have that sucker tap dancing. Only one person would have the nerve to pull this off. Kano. That was Kano. We can't let him get away. Sparky and the rest of you stay after that jeep. Jake, follow me. We're going to catch that one-eyed, tin-headed creep. Jake, stay alert. Eat plasma bolts, suckers. Sonia, look out. He's not shooting at me. He's shooting at those barrels. Kano uses the explosion to distract Sonia and makes an incredible leap to safety aboard Shang Tsung's sail barge. I can't believe he got away. What an odd assortment of characters. That sure isn't the rest of the Black Dragon on that ship. I wonder where it's heading. Not very far if we open fire. No, we might hit a passenger. I'll radio ahead for a speeder boat. We'll let that floating junk pile sail further out before we intercept. Dude, was that real? No, it's an illusion. Hey, you're Johnny Cage. Can I have your autograph? As the night falls, the sail barge sets out towards the East China Sea, and Kano joins a group of near 50 other warriors, all heading to Shang Tsung's tournament, all heading to impending doom. Deep in the mountain vastness of rural Japan, Shang Tsung traverses through a strange land to deliver a personal invitation. Raiden, God of Thunder, hear these words. I have travelled through your land, spoken your language and your religions to deliver this message. I ask of you once more, accept this invitation and compete in my great and noble tournament. Or do you fear the dangers of mortal combat with a C? Raiden appears. I fear no mortal, and your tournament is no more great and noble than the decrepit body your spirit possesses. I have long watched your practices, Shang Tsung. You are nothing but a peasant sorcerer. I accept your invitation and give you this warning. All those who oppose Raiden will be crushed. Your acceptance is welcomed, great Raiden. Oh, and please remember this tournament takes place in my domain, under my rule. And on the East China Sea, Shang Tsung's sail barge continues its trek towards the tournament's secret location. Come on, Cage, say it. I'll be back. That wasn't my movie. Get up, Cage. You got no stuntmen to take hits for you there. I do my own stunts. I'd say the movie star is unfairly outnumbered. Who the heck are you? My friends call me Liu Kang. You are not a friend. Thanks. That's all I need. A moment of distraction is all the star needs to deliver his patented shadow kick. Crack! And before any of Kano's newfound friends can join the fight, Liu Kang ends it. The next time we do any fighting will be at the tournament, and it may also be against each other. Yeah, watch your back, Mr. Hollywood, because you just made yourself your worst enemy. Proceed with caution, Johnny Cage. Kano has lots of friends here. He will make the tournament difficult for you. I think I can take care of myself. As Liu Kang and Johnny get better acquainted, they fail to notice the shadowy clad figure watching from above. He is a member of the Lin Kuei, a rare clan of Chinese super assassins. Unfortunately for him, his attention is focused on the altercation below and not the ghastly spectre he is about to encounter. Lin Kuei, look into my eyes. No, it can't be. I. Yes, you murdered me exactly 2 years ago to this day, but my demons have allowed me to return to avenge my death. I could kill you at this very moment, but I am not a murderer. We will meet at the tournament, and then, Lin Kuei, you will pay for your crimes. You are a fool for sparing my life. That is yet to be seen. Scorpion's so awesome. At sunrise, the sail barge, which left Hong Kong late that night before, is joined by a dozen other ships, all arriving at Shang Tsung's island fortress. After a day of practice and training, they are greeted by the island's emperor and tournament's 500-year grand champion. Welcome, warriors, to the greatest of all martial arts tournaments. You have travelled great distances to be here. I hope it proves well worth it. Now let me introduce the newest entry to our contest. Lieutenant Sonya Blade. We found her following one of my ships to this sacred island. Like all of you, her life depends on her performance in the tournament, but so do the lives of her companions. Heh, I can knock them off all at once. The tournament has taken a turn for the worst. It was to be expected of Shang Tsung. Let the tournament begin! And it's to be continued at an arcade near you. Then you get bios of the characters. I always really like these bios. In fact, I have one of a shirt of Kano, but the shirt's very small. I can't wear it anymore. It basically says their real names and their heights and, you know, what they like and stuff. And it's got 8 bios: Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Kano, Sonya, Raiden, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Goro. No Shang Tsung bio. Then the last page has Mortal Kombat the video game, starring Ho-Sang Pak as Liu Kang, Daniel Pezina as Johnny Cage, Rich DeVizio as Kano, Carlos Pezina as Raiden, Elizabeth Malecki as Sonya Blade, DP as Scorpion Sub-Zero, which is Daniel Pezina again, and HSP, which is Ho-Sang Pak again, as Shang Tsung. Designed by John Tobias, doing graphics, Ed Boon being programmer, John Vogel, backgrounds, Dan Forden, music and sound effects, and the Goro stop motion miniature by Kurt Chiralelli. And then it's got audio limited edition Mortal Kombat t-shirt, just $10. So that's the Mortal Kombat comic book, collector's edition comic. As you can see, if you're into Mortal Kombat, this was the book to have, because it gave you a bit of setup. It's not a hard book to read. You know, what's like, how many pages? 18 pages or something, I think it is. You know, it's not a long book. I don't know a lot about comics. I'm not going to sit here and go, the line work's amazing, because that would be silly. But, you know, for me as a fan of the Mortal Kombat series, I can say I really like the illustrations and pictures that they've chosen to do here. There's some great things, some great scenes. We get to see the, you know, where Liu Kang comes from, his temples. We get to see, you know, a lot of this stuff reminds me of the movie. You know, Johnny Cage being at the docks, you know, where the boat leaves, and Kano kind of sneaking on board. You see a bit of Kano's gang here, which is funny because one of them looks like MK3 Sub-Zero. And then you also see a lot of Sonya's Special Forces team. So, as far as I know, I don't think this has any connection to the Mortal Kombat comics came out later. In fact, I'm going to say I don't think it does. Because this was just a precursor for the arcade game, you know, and like I said, I really like what you see in here. It's great. It sets up all the characters perfectly, sets up all their stories, and if you beat the game, then you find out what happens to each character. So that's it for my first Mortal Kombat comic book review. I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys for another YouTube video tomorrow. Peace out.